So now I've talked about all 21 horror films I have seen in 2019. We gotta rank all of them and congratulate them on what they do. Let's go. We're gonna rank all of them. So, number 21, The Curse of La La La. This movie is boring and it's lame in every single way. There is no enjoyable aspect, I receive no fun from it. You could just mute this movie and you would know exactly what's going on. The screenplay is a mess, the people who made this movie do not care, and to call this movie lackadaisical would be an understatement. 2 out of 10. And honestly, that's being generous. Number 20, The Fanatic. The dialogue, acting, and presentation is hilarious. The runtime is not very long, and it's just fun to enjoy. You just buckle in, and you enjoy the ride. 3 out of 10. Number 19, Black Christmas. Okay, this movie is dumb. The social message not make sense, not because it's offensive or whatever. It just isn't presented in a good way at all. And everything that makes this movie a horror movie sucks. The kills are non-engaging, the PG-13 is terrible, because this movie is PG-13, and the only reason it's PG-13 is because it wants to attract more audiences, because the studio knew this movie wouldn't be any good. This movie sucks, and it has no enjoyable characters, and it has nothing interesting going on for it. 3 out of 10. Number 18, Escape Room. Honestly, long ago when I was watching these movies, I thought this movie would be lower. This movie is just as bad as the other movies I have mentioned just now. Lackadaisical only made because escape rooms were popular back then. No enjoyable characters to a point where they were the point where I hated them, and I just don't have any fun watching this movie, and I have no plans to watch it again. 3 out of 10. Number 17, Annabelle Comes Home. Okay, yep, this Annabelle movie is just as bad as the other Annabelle movies, but honestly, to me, this is probably the best one. It's the most watchable one by far. I already talked about how Annabelle Comes Home is a failure. This movie just really dials down to not as bad as it could have been, and honestly, when you watch 3 Annabelle movies in a row, that's kind of the best thing you get. And whilst the child actress is good, everything else is unfortunately just pathetic and just not scary at all, and it's just as lazy. 4 out of 10. Number 16, In the Tall Grass. The worst Stephen King adaptation of this year so far. This movie is just too silly. It cannot understand what it's trying to do. The acting is bad, the sound design is okay, but everything else, apart from a child actor, isn't really trying. This movie really misuses the term of making the supernatural believable and scary. There's only one good scene, and everything else is just hilarious. The characters just get lost in tall grass. That's what it is. 4 out of 10. Number 15, Brightburn. The horror movie of the year that had the potential to be good, but unfortunately isn't, because it's terrible. I don't know anything about the studio clashing that might have happened with this movie, but what I do know is that there's only one good scene of dialogue, and there's only really one good scene of the child actor that was believable, because everything else was very unbelievable. 4 out of 10. Number 14, Child's Play. Doesn't need a reboot, but they made one anyway, and that's insulting in itself, but either way, this movie isn't as bad as it could have been. But still, it really does misuse everything that made the original Child's Play special. 6 out of 10. Number 13, The Prodigy. This is where we get into the movies that are actually watchable now. The Prodigy is only held up by one aspect, and that's the child actor. Everything else is not that good. 6 out of 10. Number 12, Midsommar. Yeah, I know, people love this movie, but I honestly just can't help but be bored when I watch it. The pacing drags so fucking much, the dialogue cannot really hold up all the time, and it has the best female performance of all the horror movies this year, but apart from that, I just cannot stay awake when watching this movie. Unfortunately, the second half is really bad. 6 out of 10. Number 11, The Hole in the Ground. I honestly have mixed feelings about this movie. On one hand, I have a lot of fun with the main female character, but on the other hand, this is a simple movie and it's really predictable. 6 out of 10. Number 10, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. Fortunately, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark has bad main characters and very unengaging characters as well. The only reason why it's this high is because the monsters look really good and the pacing is really good as well. Apart from that, this movie just really did not really want to devote that much time to its main characters. 6 out of 10. Number 9, Pet Sematary. Okay, so yeah, I have a soft spot for Pet Sematary because it is the best Pet Sematary movie in my mind, but still, this is not very good, and whilst it does succeed as a better reboot, it's not a better adaptation of the book. It's got a good child actress, it's got the good pacing, and it has some good moments overall that are most impressive, but other than that, This movie honestly flops, and the first half is really bad. 6 out of 10. Number 8, Z2, Double Tap. Okay, so yeah, this is the movie that I honestly really have split decisions on. It feels like the kind of movie I've watched before, but there are some funny jokes and there are some cool action scenes. I really do have mixed feelings on this movie, and I really think that 8th place is a suitable point in my mind. 6 out of 10. Number 7, Ready or Not. This is where we get into the movies that I can definitely rewatch without that much hesitation. Ready or Not, I didn't really like it the first time, but the more I think about it, the more I really want to. And when the time comes, I will watch this movie again and enjoy it. It's that obvious. This has the best production value, a good main performance, and this movie is just everything I want in a horror movie. Number 6, Us. Yeah, I'm in between the argument. It's not that good and it's not that bad as some people say. But overall, this movie is pretty good to watch. It has a good main performance, it has good acting, and it has some really funny moments. But this movie really does drag and overstay its welcome a little bit. So 7 out of 10. Number 5, Crawl. Despite my wanting, this movie was really fun to watch. I had so much fun watching this movie. It's enjoyable. The hurricane was believable, there was good production value, and it had some good acting. The characters were not insufferable, and honestly, this is what 47 Meters Down should have been. The only reason it loses points is because the screenplay is not that good, and they shied away from the kills. But apart from that, this movie is really fun. Number 4, It Chapter 2. I know, unpopular opinion, but It Chapter 2 is just so much fun to watch. For some reason, the pacing really doesn't kill it for me. This movie does not feel like the runtime. And yet, it loses points because the second act is really boring, but for some reason, it doesn't really feel that lackadaisical as Jump Scares in Curse of La Llorona. It has good acting, good casting choices, and it just has really fun dialogue. A movie this energetic, fruitful, and fun, I just can't say no to it. 7 out of 10. Number 3, Dr. Sleep. I have so much fun watching this movie. I literally just cannot be bored by it. This movie has so many interesting things. It has a good main character. It has a good main villain. It's just everything I want. Cheesy and enjoyable. And whilst the third act does have some mixed opinions, I just have so much fun when watching it. And the movie would just not be the same without it. 7 out of 10. Number 2, Happy Death Day to You. I just love the Happy Death Day movies for what they are. Enjoyable, campy horror movies with a good main performance, some really funny jokes, and just some enjoyable kills. Yeah, you had me right, the kills are enjoyable. And at its best, this movie is just enjoyable, fun, and just something I can fall in love with easily. But at its worst, it has a very bad main villain. But apart from that, I'll definitely watch it again and again and again and still not get bored by it, just like the original. 8 out of 10. Number 1, The Lighthouse. If the Oscars actually nominated this movie has just so many things it would win. It has the best sound design, best cinematography, best editing, best main acting, best costumes. This is not only my favorite horror movie of the year, this is my favorite movie of the year. I just want to get that clear. The performances are just excellent. There is nothing wrong with this movie. The aspect ratio is magnificent. I just cannot think of a single problem to complain about. Everything in this movie really works. And it just all makes sense and adds up. Everyone has a different mindset when it comes to this movie, and when you leave the theater, you just have a different idea for what the movie is. And all these ideas are incredible, and it's just so good in every way. So much fun. 10 out of 10. Oh, wait a second. Oh, no, wait, I'm sorry, Rob. Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, it's actually, the best movie is, Cats. Yes, it's Cats, actually. Can we please welcome Cats? There's been a mistake. Cats, you win. Ah, fuck yeah! Good Marvel horror movie. Can't wait for this one. Yeah. More bias. Oh my god, this trailer looks so cool, guys. I'm not lying. The trailer looks so promising. It's got that corny Marvel trailer style with a horror element added to it. I am so looking forward to this movie, guys. I cannot wait for this movie to come out. I am going to check it out. It looks sweet, but I'm just curious on how Marvel will try to do this new theme. Since, you know, they sort of did before, not really, but I am very looking forward to it. Plus, Doctor Who is in it, so is fucking Jared Leto. I'm looking forward to these people play these characters. Who knows, maybe Jared Leto could be in a good superhero film for once. Okay, Venom 2. I actually do not know if this counts as a horror movie, or as a movie for that matter. The previous Venom movie wasn't great, so I just don't think this will be good anymore. It just seems like this horror movies that people make just because it made a